Okay, welcome back to the studio. So today we're going to talk about a topic that comes up a lot in my private lesson studio, and I've been teaching for a while, and this is something that we all deal with, and that is the competitive nature of the guitar. Is that a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Is it appropriate? What is that? What does that actually mean for the player? Is the faster player better? Is the more technical player better? Is the guy that plays with more feel better? I don't know, and I think the listener has to be the judge of that, because we all tend to like different things for different reasons. So, in the competitiveness of playing the guitar, I think where people tend to get distracted is they look at someone else who, for whatever reason, they think is better than them, and that's going to happen. I mean, there's always going to be somebody that might play know a few more chords than you, can stretch their fingers a little farther than you, whatever whatever the case is, and it seems like this needs to be addressed, and that instead of looking at that person and saying, "Oh, they're better than me. Oh man, I suck." Well, that's obviously the wrong way to look at it. You never want to look at it that way. Um, in anything really, but especially playing the guitar. What you want to do is look at the person that maybe you think is better than you, and figure out, okay, what are they doing that I can learn from? That's pretty obvious. You need to learn from people that you think might have an edge, and not be discouraged by what you think they can do that you can't do. Everyone plays the guitar typically for, slightly different reasons. I mean, we all have things in common that we like, but um, you can always learn from another player. And that brings us to maybe another point here, and that's what type of music or genre that you prefer to play. So, a little bit of my background, I grew up playing, starting, I think, when I was 14, playing in a Metallica cover band. At the time, I wasn't that familiar with Metallica, but I had listened to, like, Green Day and like maybe some 80s stuff. I wasn't, and maybe some other punk stuff. I wasn't really into like metal at the time, but the bands that were around in the area that I lived in, that's kind of what people played, was 80s and 90s thrash, Metallica, Pantera, Slayer, that kind of thing. So that's what I got into because that's what people were playing. And I learned to play it. I learned to enjoy it, and I got off on that tangent and got into all that type of music. But that doesn't mean that I stopped listening to, you know, the stuff that I had initially listened to. I always enjoyed like blues and stuff, and then later on, while I was still playing heavier stuff, got into jazz and even later on a little country because it's fun to play. I may not go and listen to that kind of stuff actively, but playing it is a lot of fun. So that's another thing that you can do to make yourself a better player is experiment with different genres. Don't lock yourself into one thing. You don't want to spread yourself too thin and try to be the jack of all trades and be able to play everything, or maybe you do. I mean, if you're wanting to be a studio guy and you need to be able to play a little bit of everything, go for it. But the point is, everybody likes different music for different reasons, and everybody prefers different types of guitar playing. You want to find your identity on this thing, how it appeals to you, if that makes sense. You want to figure out why the guitar appeals to you. What do you like about it? What can it do that inspires you to pick it up? Because if you have the guitar in your hands, you are going to get better. Even if you can't do sweep arpeggios a million miles a second down the fretboard, that doesn't mean that you put the guitar down and go watch TV. Get your guitar in your hand, practice what you want to play, have fun with it, find interesting sounds, and enjoy the guitar like no one is listening to you. Don't don't always worry about what other people are thinking when you're playing. Try to just enjoy the guitar for what it can do. And also, typically when we first start playing the guitar, um, we play the guitar because you know I think a lot of us, it's like, well, this is an iconic instrument. I mean, you see, your heroes on stage playing this thing, and you just want to be you want to experience that. I think a lot of people, that's their motivation for picking it up. So if that's your goal, remember why you picked it up in the first place. If you've been playing for a while and maybe you're in a rut, go back to your roots and establish your identity playing the guitar. Have fun with it, and see what you can come up with. Try to be creative too. Write your own stuff. Learn a few covers. Push your boundaries a little bit with what you can play, but also try to be creative. Try to write a few things. I found that that's really really helpful. And with my students, when we do writing exercises and etudes and stuff that inspire um, them to write original songs, that almost invariably gets people out of a rut. Um, Even if they're struggling with technique. So anyway, I hope this is helpful. And this is a really fun instrument to play. There's a lot of people that play the guitar now, and there's a lot of phenomenal guitar players out there that you can see on the internet all the time. So if you're comparing yourself to some of these guys, it's pretty intimidating. But don't forget why you picked it up in the first place. And maybe it's because you want to be one of those guys. And if that's the goal and you want to, be be a master, by all means, get to practicing. But main thing is, have fun, pick your guitar up, enjoy what it can do, and just find yourself on the fretboard. All right? Well, we'll see you next time. Get to practicing. Thanks for checking out our channel. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and check out our full-length lessons right there at rjsoldaniguitarlessons.com.